Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video covering the Pulsar Lab X2F. This thing is absolutely amazing already in its beta format, but I do want to stress right now, this is a beta test. This is not even an early prototype. It is a very early version of the mouse, and everything is subject to change, which is fantastic to be able to be one of those early testers and make sure everything about this mouse is absolutely perfect and to provide feedback. And that is something that you guys can do in the comment section below. When I show you guys the shape, talk about the weight, the switches, etc., you guys can put your ideas in the comments below, and I'm sure Pulsar will give it a 1 over. I do want to let you guys know that the pad that you guys see in this video is the Guardian. This is a collab that I did with Nacho Customs and Tekusai and our artist Caleb. This is now going to be available at Tekusai's website as well as Lethal Gaming Gear. And if anybody was wondering, the artwork is all hand-drawn. The colors are absolutely stunning, as you guys can see. It's 500 by 450. It's 2.5 millimeters thick, along with that rubber backing. So it's a very thin pad, and it has a surface that is known through the community as being the fastest glass pad on the market, and despite that speed, having a fantastic level of control. I don't think that this pad will be available for too long, so make sure you guys check out those websites if you are interested in picking up the Guardian. It is the same glass surface as the Beast, just a different design, so you guys can check out my review of the Beast, but an absolutely stunning pad, and again, the colors are phenomenal. Getting into the X2F, let's talk about what the beta test version includes right now. Just so you guys know, I had some questions already about the materials that are utilized to make up the shell. This is a carbon composite, and this carbon is much better than what you have maybe used already on the market. This is made up of 40% carbon fiber and 60% mixture of polycarbonate as well as nylon. This makes the material actually feel very smooth and very interesting. Not only that, but it's very strong. I almost could not believe that this was not metal when I was initially doing a build quality test out of the box. It feels absolutely stunning in terms of its overall quality already. You guys can see, importantly, there are 2 side buttons here on the fingertip mouse, which is very unique on the market right now. There are only few fingertip mice that have side buttons, and these are positioned exceptionally well, almost as if you had a full-fledged, full-size mouse. My thumb rests exactly where I would want it to on a full-size mouse, and the buttons are of the size of a full-size mouse. So absolutely well done so far. And again, that material here, I mean, guys, I am squeezing the heck out of this thing. It doesn't even remotely feel possible to get this thing to move. So for a beta version of the mouse already, this thing is absolutely feeling like it is indestructible. I want to get you guys a little bit closer to the mouse, show you guys the PCB, the overall design of the bottom of the mouse, and maybe you'll have some ideas of what could possibly change, and let Pulsar know. In looking at the mouse, it really does look like a mouse literally cut in half, but one of the things that you guys will notice is that it does have a cage here at the top of the mouse, and not only is that important to hide the internals to make sure that your hand, your sweat is not accessible to potentially ruin those, but it also does help with the click infrastructure here. And I can tell you guys right now, with the blue shell pink dots, the mouse feels absolutely amazing, and the clicks right now feel better than a majority of full-fledged, already produced mice on the market right now. For a fingertip mouse, I think people are going to be very pleased. I'm not quite sure how they would possibly improve upon the overall feeling of the buttons, but overall right now, there is next to no sway on mouse 1 and mouse 2, and the overall click pressure in order to actuate is very consistent from the bottom all the way to the top, except right at the very bottom, it requires a little bit more force to pressure down to actuate those switches. Overall, I love this design here. I don't know if that's going to be finalized on the product itself, but you can see Korea here because this is actually handmade in Korea. It does use a 250 mAh battery, and it does look like the battery is right here at the bottom. And I can say right now, coming in at 40 grams to 42 grams on the beta unit copy, The weight balancing here is actually really, really good. And I actually kind of prefer that weight. I think in the comments, you guys there'll probably be a few of you who want that weight lower. But really, for a fingertip mouse, it actually feels really good to have a condensed weight right here in my fingertips that feels not too light, a little substantial, so I get some extra stability here. The nice thing about the mouse being completely almost cut in half of what a full-size mouse would look like is my fingertip grip is always going to remain a fingertip grip. I don't have that ability to rest my palm or have a hybrid grip, so it really locks me in to a fingertip grip. So I'm not messing with my grip in game or inadvertently using a hybrid palm type grip, and I'm gaining a lot of stability and a lot of consistency by doing that. So I think that's one of the benefits of a shape like this and a fingertip mouse like this is it kind of prevents you from having an inconsistent grip on the mouse in general. Again, you guys can see those side buttons here, full size side buttons, and these side buttons are, I think, in a perfect position. It gives you plenty of room to rest your thumb despite being a fingertip mouse, and the pre and post travel are actually already very minimal. The clicks are very light and crispy, so far feeling very good. So far, actually very satisfied. But if you guys have any ideas about maybe the shape, the positioning, the layout, again, feel free to let them know in the comments. I think the cage here, again, aesthetically actually looks very good, and I think its function also is quite good as well. The thing I would point your guys' attention to as well is right here. You can see the sides are actually quite flat, but they do taper a little bit to an angle, and it gets a little bit more angled here towards the back, and you can see how it's kind of tapering in and kind of bending a little bit towards the back here. I actually like that because it's preventing the bottom portion of the sides from hitting the inner portion of my hand. You can see it doesn't hit the inner portion of where I'm resting my thumb, and it's also not hitting the top or the bottom portion of my palm here. So I think it's actually by design that it's curving in like that, and I would actually keep that. I think it's actually a really good idea, and so far functionally, it's coming off as feeling very good in the hand. When I am resting with the mouse like this, it almost feels like let me grab it here. It almost feels like the front portion of a ULX Medium or a Beast X. You can see the grip width is about the same as the Beast X regular size or what would be a ULX Medium, and it feels really good. And I feel as though my thumb is actually resting in the same spot where these side buttons are, and I'm getting plenty of room again to rest my thumb right there at the front of the mouse. So far, again, the build quality, you guys can see here, squeezing the mouse again, just feels indestructible. So again, the carbon fiber makeup is much, much stronger, much more sturdy than some of those carbon fiber mice hitting the market. Scroll wheel actually does feel, you guys can see, raised a little bit over mouse 1 and mouse 2, the buttons in terms of button height, and it feels exceptionally good and very, very spammable. And I believe the encoder feels really good, and I would assume is similar to the Pulsar Blue encoder, but it actually feels a little bit smoother to me, so I'll have to ask them what encoder is in there right now, but it feels super, super good. You guys can see the bottom of the mouse. So where these dots are, there are cutouts for the dot positioning, so it is a fitted dot. They are taking commentary right now whether or not they should make it just completely flat so that there's room here for different size dots. I think that ultimately that probably will be the play and the way to go, but I do think that having a designated area where these skates are recommended to go as a guide marker when you are replacing the dots would be a really cool idea to see, and maybe that will be something that they implement. On the bottom of the mouse, you can see you can power it on right here. I don't believe I see a DPI button here on the bottom of the mouse. that would be nice to have some form of DPI switch here on the bottom to be able to change the DPI without going into the software. But overall, you can see there are a few cutouts on the PCB. It'll be interesting if they get the weight a little bit lighter than what it is right now. But overall, the dot positionings already look very good. And the bottom plate is that same carbon fiber makeup and is really, really strong. It is using that Pulsar XS1 sensor, so it will go up to 8K, and the performance so far has been absolutely phenomenal. I actually really like the aesthetic, and I don't know that the aesthetic is going to stay with the black and the white lines. What I would probably propose is that they do keep some of this because it does look really good. Like, I wouldn't mind having X2F here on the right side, and I certainly wouldn't mind having, something like CF or some sort of white offset to the black. I really do like having the Pulsar Lab here, but you guys, let me know in the comments and let them know certainly what you would like to see on the mouse from an aesthetic standpoint. That is really it though, guys, for what to expect. I'll show you guys how it compares to some of my more tiny mice, just so you guys can really get an idea. But this is the mouse next to the new X2 Crazy Light, and you can see it is even smaller. The button height feels relatively around the same, but it does feel ever so slightly lower on the front side of the X2F, but you can expect it to be somewhat similar. And you guys can see the mouse next to the Vaxi and Ninjutsu Sora. I do have those Mizu grips on there that look absolutely and feel absolutely amazing, but you guys can see the size difference here. Grip width, again, not really all that far off towards the front of the mouse, but overall, obviously feeling significantly different than everything in my arsenal right now, as it is a straight up fingertip mouse, and probably one of the smallest mice in my lineup right now compared to the Razer Orochi. You guys can see the size comparison here, even much, much smaller than the Razer Orochi. It is flatter where the hump does land on the Razer Orochi, and the click height is lower than the Razer Orochi as well. This just feels really, really good to me, again, in terms of its overall build quality right now, its overall performance, and how damn strong this material is. If this is what they are going to be producing made in Korea with this type of material, this is definitely something to be excited about, especially if you're a fan of fingertip mice. So guys, that is going to be it for this one. Again, it is just a beta test, but I thought it would be cool for you guys to be able to throw in your comments down below. I'm sure Pulsar will check them out, and we will make this mouse the best thing it can possibly be. Again, guys, the pad is the Guardian. It's available now. I don't think it's going to last very long. It is one of the best glass pads on the market, which is why I reached out to Tekusai after my review of the Beast to try to get something on that same surface. Fast, controllable, and it has all the goodies of recent glass in terms of anti-stick and the thinness of the pad. I think it's fantastic. If you guys pick one up, please let me know how you like it. Show me some pictures of your setup. If you do pick one up, please, I hope you do really enjoy it. That's going to be it for this one, guys. Hope it helped. See you guys in the next video. Peace.